Hi, everybody. It is Stacey Calder from the Business Success Network and Magazine here for the next episode in our mini series aimed at charities on the Business Success Network podcast. I'm delighted to be joined today by Marie Walker. She is somebody that I've been networking with since about COVID now, I think is how we met. And I'm delighted to hand over to her. She's going to give you a bit of an intro into herself, her business, and how she works with charities.
I will indeed. Thank you very much for having me, first of all. I've never done a podcast before, so
Are
this
you
is
not?
new for me. No,
Oh, we're gonna get all the juicy details
yeah.
out of you today then, Marie.
Well, clearly you're the first person I decided to say, that's something I fancy doing. So, yeah, and
Yes.
it has a lot to do with the guys that you're talking to as well. So, yeah, I just thought, absolutely want to do that. So, here I am, my first time. Yeah, so I'm Marie Walker. Stacey kindly introduced me. My business is called MCS Branding, and we do at the heart of it, it's branded merchandise, all promotional products, whether you are going to wear it yourself, give it away, your advertising materials. It's all about making yourself visible. We're a family business and we have been doing this. I've been doing it for 20 odd years. My husband's been doing it even longer than that. So when we say we have seen it and done it all,
I'm worn the
we have.
t-shirt.
Literally, there, the stories I could tell you about some of the things we've been asked to do over the years. They'll make your hair curl, make you laugh, but that's why we love it. That's why we're still doing it, and it just brings joy every day. I mean, I love doing what we do, and I just love the variety that it offers every single day. I know when people talk about promo merch, they think about pens, but it's so much
Well,
more.
now you've said the things that you've seen have made your head. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, what naughty things have you been branding up?
Oh, well, no, I don't know about naughty. I would like to use the phrase weird and wonderful more than naughty,
Right.
if that's okay.
Weird and wonderful. We'll go with that. Let's
Yeah.
not get thrown off Apple Podcasts quite yet. 2 minutes in.
No, that's it. Yeah, I mean, one of the things, technology has advanced so much over the years, the way people buy their merchandise, what people need, it's massively different. And one of the specific services we're now able to offer, we call it print on demand, merch on demand. And I'm quite passionate about how that works and how that helps fundraising and charities and grassroots sports clubs, because it's still merchandise, it still gives those important organizations visibility, but in a way that they don't have to buy masses of stock and people don't need to spend hours managing it. So yeah, it's something we've really worked hard on over the last few years to bring to the fore of merchandise the way people need it. And I actually think it helps charities and organizations to get access where they probably thought they haven't been able to before. So I get quite passionate about that, getting
Good.
everybody to be visible.
Good. Well, you sound like me. I'm always talking about marketing assets, visibility, and guess what? More visibility.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
love the fact that I get to talk about visibility with you today and marketing assets, because merchandise is an asset. Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a charity, it's a huge asset to have somebody walking around in a branded hoodie or, a running vest with your charity on, or
Absolutely.
crikey, there is so many things out there. But
Mm.
I know, having worked with several small charities, if they wanted t-shirts, for instance, and I've been in this situation, they cannot necessarily afford the outlay of ordering 50 in small, 50 in medium, 50 in large, and ending up with, let's face it, probably 45 in one size that no one ever is. But you need to have them because that's a minimal order. So
Yes.
I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you and I'm thinking this is such a good way, and fast
Yes.
for charities to get
Yes.
set up. That's what
Yes.
I love about you, Marie, is
Yes.
it's quick,
Yeah.
easy,
Yeah.
and yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, it breaks my heart a little bit when charities buy that bulk order. I mean, there's still, we still do bulk orders. It's buying in what I call the traditional way, and it's still completely valid. But in some cases, it either is basically where the fundraising is left, it's left on the table. They've spent out all that money, and what's left on the table is basically what they now can't donate because they've now got to hustle to sell what's left to be able to actually do fundraising because it hasn't covered the cost of buying the blooming things in the first place. or smaller charities think they can't access that type of brand awareness because it's going to cost them too much and they don't have the cash flow, or they just can't take the risk of it not selling. So what I love about just doing everything on demand, first of all, there is no financial risk because you don't have to buy any stock up front. When it comes to charities and sports clubs and things like that, there's a lot, in a lot of situations, they're getting run by volunteers and they don't need that added hassle of having to organize the inventory of stock and make sure they've got the 5 XLs and the 3 small, because I will guarantee
payment ways and
and
buttons on
order
websites.
forms and having to take responsibility for money and all of the things. It just takes all of that away and it leaves them to do, when it comes to like youth sports clubs, for example, you've probably got the coaches that just want to go out there and train the kids. They didn't sign up for order forms and having to take responsibility
and having
for
to
money.
find sponsors to cover the costs and all that kind of thing.
Yes.
And tour tops. I get it. My kids play rugby. I get it. I get it. Totally get
all
it.
of the things.
And actually, whereas like you said, if that coach can just say, look, we're going on tour, we've created a hoodie with the logo on, go on and order it here.
Yeah.
Parents are like, oh, thank God.
Better than that. You might just do like a
all round.
Sorry, you were breaking up just a tiny little bit there, so I was jumping in to interrupt. Sorry. But the thing I love about that as well is the tour's perfect for, well, we've only got X amount of pounds to spend on tops, but with print on demand, don't worry about it. Put bags in, put coats in, put scarves in, put beanie hats in. If people don't buy it, it doesn't matter. You haven't had to outlay on the products, but you're making it available for people that might want to purchase, or they might want the top but not the beanie, or they might want the beanie but they don't like, so you've given people choices. So it's just easier to get money from people when you've given them choices, I think, as well.
Let's talk about money, because I was recording one of the podcasts earlier and we were talking about sales, and it's almost, when you're a small business, you don't like talking about sales and money because, people have this real negative way of thinking about it. But even charities are selling all the time. They're selling their services, they're selling, to stakeholders, they're selling to donors that want to do that. So this is a great way of them not only getting their brand awareness out there, but they can earn money from this as well, can't they?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of charities that have events, big events, and they'll maybe have a stall at the event and it's a big fundraiser, and that's great. But if you're not going to catch all of your people at that event, so your online shop could be open all year round, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, when everybody takes a notion to buy the t-shirt. And more than that, go beyond the straightforward sort of logo stuff, put stuff in there that's about Christmas, it's about Father's Day. Take advantage of the marketing holidays just like all the other businesses do. Give your customers the products that they want to spend money on, and now you're not selling anymore. You're giving your customers what they actually want to buy. And at the end of the day, if it's a choice between a t-shirt to go to Marks and Spencer's and a t-shirt that's going to help out my local sports club, my local rugby club, and help my kids and fund that tour, well, it's still not, you can buy that t-shirt, aren't you? Especially if it looks nice when you're wearing it and people know who you belong to. People do love being part of a community, don't they, Stacey? They do love to be part of everybody else and seeing when we go to matches, we're wearing the scarves, we're wearing the coats, we're wearing the tops. They love that.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, you just saw me get really excited when she mentioned community, because I'm like, yeah, I'm all about community building. And I emphasize this so much when I talk to charities. If you're listening to this on Spotify or one of the other platforms, you won't see how excited I got, but hopefully you will hear it. Community, standing out in the community, making other people feel part of that community. So I used to work with a charity that, I talked about this a lot. I worked with them to make sure that their online presence was as great as their offline presence and all that kind of thing. And one of the things they had were t-shirts sat in a cupboard that they'd ordered from years before from one of their women's projects. And it was very much like every time they did a store, they'd bring out these t-shirts. And, looking back, and I'm going print on demand. And so it isn't just rugby tours or, the sports facilities, children's activity providers, charities. it's, you can use these for projects, you can use these for the communities. I am a supporter of, you know,
Yeah,
the women's group, the men's group, the
yeah,
children's
yeah.
dance group, whatever it is. So many great ideas popping up here.
Well, even if you just take it back to, like, forget the tours, forget the shop, even if you want to do a competition, a giveaway, a children's colouring, design a t-shirt, you can now have that one product. You don't have to order like loads of thing. Just get all the kids involved or the adults or whoever, whatever the thing is. Design a t-shirt, design a mug. The winner gets the mug. Obviously, you only have to buy one, but the activity you've created around that competition and people getting involved and the conversations that are going to occur around it, which is the whole point of doing it in the first place. And
Mm,
people don't, because, oh, I don't need 25. I just need
yeah.
the one. Well, now you can have there's all sorts of different ways you can now use your merchandise, because you don't have to buy thousands of anything anymore.
And like exactly that. So it opens up the chance to do more competitions, which bring in those, let's face it, it's data capture, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's making people aware of your cause, your thing. Easter egg hunts, brilliant. Get some QR codes with your merchandise shops up there, whatever it is. I love that. Marie, what was it then? Because you are obviously a small business owner as well. I've seen that you set up shops for the businesses, charities. What is it about the charity sector that makes you that you like working in it? Because you've come up with some brilliant ideas. I know you've got a download where you've got all these fundraising ideas. So hopefully, as people are listening to this, isn't just you coming here and going, "Hey, come and sign up to my shop." This is you saying, "Look, I've got all these fundraising ideas for you." That one then was brilliant, like design a mug, design a t-shirt, things like that. Let's face it, parents are looking for their kids to do stuff like that, just as an activity to do. If it helps a charity at the same time,
Yeah.
amazing. So what is it about charities then for you?
I think honestly, I mean, we got involved. We've been doing merchandise, as I said, for many years. And years ago, my son started playing rugby. My husband started coaching rugby. And they were having, every year there was this thing that the kit had to be ordered once a year. There was the order form situation. There was a meeting in the clubhouse every year. The mums had to come along, try on the bits. That's the size I want. And I'm going to try and think of a nice way of saying this. The hoo-ha
Yeah.
around the after effects of that, the coaches having to spend time chasing up orders, chasing up money. I mean, it was just time they didn't have in the first place. So that was like, but that's the way things were done. And then, we'd ordered our stuff for our son. And then I think round about Christmas or his birthday, I'm like, oh, because I was new to the club, I would like a new hoodie for Finley for Christmas. Went to the shop that I knew where they ordered their stuff from. Oh, no, you can't get that. Just that one order goes in a year. I'm like, that seems stupid, first of all, an
Especially if you've got
opportunity
new
missed.
players and things that are going to want it.
Opportunity missed, fundraising not done. So Tony and I went home, we put our heads together. We've got access to the software. We've definitely got the expertise to do the merch. So we started putting that online club together, an online shop for them. And it went from there. And what's happening, it's become so apparent that the people that need it most are the people that have access to it least. And it just
Mm.
ignites something in me that makes me want people to be aware of the opportunity. It's a no-brainer. It costs you nothing. I think the frustration when it comes to sports clubs, charities, that kind of thing, it's run by committee. People do things the way they've always done them. And because it's volunteers, and let's be honest, people don't have time. They don't have time to explore the opportunities. So they don't, and they carry on doing the same thing. Or you have to go back to a committee and you have to get them to agree to this thing. And it's frustrating because honestly, within an hour, you could have this done and dusted and be ready to go. And then you're out there in your community raising money and actually giving the parents something they want, taking a job away from the organisers that really don't need anything else to do, and the kids get access to what they want. And I say kids because I talk about sort of youth sports clubs when in my head, but it's bigger charities. It's any
Mm.
kind of charity. We've got breast cancer charities, we've got dog walking charities. you name it, people want access to the products just because it's attractive.
Any charity that is running events, having stalls at other events,
Yeah.
running London marathons, whatever it is, any marathon, but anything can benefit from this. And I totally get it. And actually, working with a charity last year, if they'd have had this rather than ordering, a bulk of polo shirts for their volunteers, it would have meant that funding was kept in the pot. Because most volunteers, if you say to them, I've tried this, look, we'd love you all to be in a branded shirt, you know, would you mind donating to that? If they're volunteer, chances are they will. 10 times easier if you can say, look, just go and click a link and you can create your
Yeah.
own. And,
And
while you're there, you can have a water bottle or a mug or whatever
yeah.
as well.
And I
Absolutely.
will guarantee if they purchased a stock quantity, and like I said, that's still valid in a lot of cases, but it also takes away that hassle of sizing. You know,
Yeah.
Miss Mary Smith, I'm sure she's a medium. You get her a large, she's insulted. So let her come online, buy her own size, and then there's no arguments with what she gets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it just makes total sense. I Yeah, I love the scope of this. This isn't like oh, this works for, like you say, a sports charity or a homeless charity or a health. It literally covers everyone and everything because merchandise is a huge asset. It's key. Like I said,
Mm.
you just want to be visible, whether that's, in fact, you're in orange today. And I was talking to one of our other community leaders. Her branding is very orange. And so, she's always like, oh, I'd love to get some stuff branded, but it's orange. And I'm like, it's going to stand out, love.
Yeah,
Do it.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So we've talked about kind of the drop shipping, the how charities can get involved with it, how they can utilize it. I've touched on the fact that you've got so many ideas. We're going to come to your top tip in a little bit. But how do you think businesses and charities can work together then? What do you think? Because I often see charities say, oh, I need to work with more businesses, but they don't really know how businesses can.
Yeah,
I always say it's a two-way street.
yeah.
Now, I think charities undersell themselves sometimes in what they can do for
Massively,
businesses because,
massively.
again, it's that thing of businesses want to get involved in the charity, but also they want to be seen to be doing good. So what's your, because you're obviously a business owner, you work quite heavily in the charity industry. How can people come together? Why should they? What kind of do you see the benefits as, and how can charities really use that? That's about 10 questions in one there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll try and wrap it all up and
We did say we'd put the world to rights, and this would just
I'll ramble on for 10 minutes, just shut me
go
down when it's
on,
time to
go
go
for it.
home. I completely agree. First of all, the charity completely undersells itself. And I think possibly one of the main problems you've got when it comes to charity is that if it's not being run by a business owner, they don't understand the mindset of the people that they're then having to go to talk to for funding, for sponsoring, borrow or to buy, whatever it is. You've got a lack of understanding between the two different worlds. And then you have the charity that is kind of thinking that they have to go to the businessman, the business owner, for, I'm going to ask for some money. Oh, don't want to do that. Oh, that's hard. Oh, everybody's got a bit short of money these days. So then they start getting nervous. They either don't do it or they sell themselves short. Whereas if you actually talk to the business, okay, this is what we can offer. This is what we can offer you. This is how it works for your marketplace. This is how you're going to get seen. This is how you raise your awareness. We've got a platform where you can be seen. We've got the ideal marketplace for you. And it's not always about, can you give us some money because we want to go and buy something either. For example, classic, and I think it's massively underused. If you're doing something on a Saturday morning in the middle of a field, be it any sport or whatever it is you're doing, I'll guarantee you've arrived with your coffee in hand because it's a cold Saturday morning. If you partnership with a coffee seller, a coffee kiosk, a coffee cafe near to you, they come and have a stand, a table, a kiosk, whatever they have available. and you now have coffee available to everybody that's standing around. They're getting seen, they're actually making money, and they are donating, say, half of the profits to you as giving them the facility. Win win. Everybody wins. The business wins, the charity wins, the people standing around that want coffee win as well. And they have that feel good factor. They don't begrudge going there on a Saturday morning. They're like, oh, great, because I love so and so's coffee, and I get myself a bacon bappy when I get there, and all that becomes an outing much more than a task.
And I tell you what, people really notice once you've done that, if that coffee stand is not there, whew,
Yes.
they
Yes.
notice.
Yes. I mean, that's just one example, but find the business that works with you and don't ask them for money, ask them to partnership with you. If you're doing tours, can you help organize our next tour? They then get seen, they get paid for what they do, and parents will then go back to them for their next holiday because they trusted them. It
Yes.
expands everybody's awareness of that partnership, and obviously then that business gets seen as doing well, working within the local industry, wanting to do good within the community. Honestly, it's a win for everybody. But you do it right, do it effectively, and pick the right partner. Sometimes you're going to have to ask for sponsorship because that's just the way the world works. You need sponsorship for, to go and buy the thing for the event because there's just nobody else you can partner up with. But then what you do is you say to the business owner, okay, this is what you're going to get for your sponsorship. It's not just give me the money, oh, and we'll mention you on social media, because most charities possibly don't do that well enough either. And then the business owner is left feeling a bit begrudged, and it's harder to get it back off them the next time. But if you make them a whole package of a ticket to our next event, make sure you come along and you can bring the stuff, whatever your package is, that what suits you, your charity, your function, your event, partner them in with you, bring them in and give them something that's actually in exchange for that sponsorship money. And it becomes much harder for them to say no, and they'll want to do it again.
I just want to clone you, to be honest, because as a small business that goes in and that speaks to charities and that says to them, how are you getting visible? How are you standing out in your local community? How are you raising your profile? And I go in and I say, what about this? What about this? And they're like, oh. And I remember working with one charity. I was in there a matter of days and I said, right, when was the last time you had people in the building? Let's do a coffee and croissants morning, for instance. Okay. I said, right. So we'll go to the local bakers and we'll see if they want to provide the croissants. We've got enough coffee and tea from the soup kitchen, so we can use that's fine, but we can always do a shout out. Right. Who do we know business wise locally in the area that will pay to sponsor? And the CEO, I remember they said, no one's ever going to do that. I said, look, it's coffee and croissants. It doesn't need a lot. If we get right, bakers are in. So actually, we've got no costs here. It's our venue. Let's just put it out there. Let's get 4 sponsors at 50 quid, for instance. They can bring their banner, so they're in front of 50 people in the room. They can do this. And you know what? Local businesses just jumped at the chance. That's £200.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about the £200, but that's in the kitty now. That's gone off. That's doing good things for homeless people.
Yeah.
Brilliant. You've got the croissants, so the bakers are there because they're engaged. Oh my God, these croissants are amazing. Where are you? We're just up the road. They're getting business. The sponsors are getting business. The charities are in that room. So the sponsors and the baker and their guests are all in that room hearing about the success stories of the charity. They want to get involved. Oh, they feel like they've just donated the croissants. So
Mm-hmm.
how can they
Yep.
be more involved? Oh,
Yep.
right. You've got a soup kitchen. Okay, we can provide you with a meal once a week, whatever it is. And then suddenly
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
got providers of food. So your food isn't needed to be budgeted
Yeah.
because that's being supplied by a butcher, a baker, whatever. And you've got, maybe a local solicitor or something. Well, that then leads to, okay, so could you support these people in our support groups? It's eye-opening, and like you
Mhm.
said, charities do undersell themselves, and I think they're quite worried about, I was chatting to someone this morning, Chris Dawes, who's on the podcast, about websites and stories, and they're worried that they can't share everything, but you can share enough to bring people in,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things like merchandise and, you
Yeah.
know, those quotes on that merchandise, if they've got a saying or a
Yeah.
hashtag or something like that, that will work
Well,
brilliantly.
I mean, leave the logo, club crest, whatever it is behind. Leave that behind, and then and you don't have to be arty or creative. It's a big fallacy, like you say. Just take an attractive line of text that's relevant to you, your niche, your charity. We have numerous shops with just text slogans that are relevant to that niche, that are relevant to that store's audience. They don't make any sense to me. I'm not going to lie, but it's not my audience. It's not my niche, but it makes sense to them and they sell them. So there's people out there buying those text hoodies. They are massive. Can I just take you back to Jack Wills that are out there selling masses and masses of hoodies with just 2 initials on them? That's it. That's all the design requirements. You really want to get into it. It's about the people that want to buy you, support your brand. And yeah, make it easy for people. Putting a bucket under people's noses, yeah, it's been done. There's no reason not to do it. You can carry on doing it. But if you give people something that they want, you're no longer selling to them. You're
Yeah.
giving them some access to
And you
the.
haven't had to buy 1,000 trolley coins to do it.
I mean, I love a trolley coin. I'm not going to lie. One of my favourite things is a trolley coin.
I did say the other day, I can't even remember who it was, but I was like, someone was talking about trolley coins, and I said, I need one. Somebody send me a trolley coin
Yes.
because I need loads because my kids will take them or off they go. So trolley coins, yeah, brilliant. They do work.
Love
They
it.
have their
Yes.
place, but nobody needs 1,000 of them on a stand for, like you
Not
say.
usually, no. It's not normally a thing that you buy for yourself either. That's the other thing. Get the balance right. You are going to need promotional merchandise and it has a place, and I can help you out with that as well. But when you're asking people to spend their own money, it's a different view that they want. They don't know. Very few people are going to buy a trolley coin, but they might buy a mug, they might buy a teddy bear, or that nice looking notebook. Now it's just about something that's really nice and they want to have for themselves. That's it.
Yeah, and a great example of this is, we were just talking about those slogans, those hashtags. We've talked about setting up a business success network shop. Now, I know if I was just to have our business success logo, the chances are the only person that's buying that is
You.
me. So, yeah. But if I was to have, oh, I don't know, let me think of, supporting small
Quirky
business owners,
slogans and clever
quirky
quotes.
slogans, whatever we're about, Monday mornings were not meant for 6 a.m. meetings, they're off the top of my head. And
Yes.
then have the business success logo underneath that, that suddenly becomes something that you can put on a hoodie because nobody wants to get up on a Monday morning at 6 a.m. and have a meeting, do they? Not in the small business community, I'm pretty sure. So it is about working those things, into that and having a look at your audience and thinking, is this something that needs just a logo that I'm handing out,
Yes.
i.e., bulk
Yeah.
merchandise, which you can help with? Or is this something that I want people to walk around their local town in and people to see that and go, like that slogan, that's whatever
Yeah.
charity.
Exactly.
So
And
yeah.
that and it becomes something that can be associated with you. But I mean, at the end of the day, let's be honest, if somebody's going to buy a mug or a notebook or a hoodie anyway to come to their Monday morning meetings, may as well be yours. But they're never going to buy it if you don't allow them access to it and give them the option to buy it. They're going to go down to wherever WH Smith's because they need a new notebook, so they're going to go there and buy it. But if you show them yours, oh, that's nice. I like that
And you've
one.
hit the nail on the head there. When they're in their Monday meetings, and I haven't got a branded mug right on me, but I'm sat here talking to you and I'm drinking my drink. Wouldn't it be great to have your brand going out there to the world? I
Yes,
say I'm not on brand. My husband's a guitarist, so you can see, look, I've got guitar
always on brand.
trying. That was for when I'm a rock god's wife at the weekend, apparently. But we'll try to keep it on brand a little bit.
Excellent. I
But
love it.
it's that thing of, what's around on your desk? Is it a pen? Is it a pencil? That's the kind of
Yes,
conversations that you need to think about. What is it that your customers, your clients are using every day that is going to get you noticed? Like you said,
yes,
whether it's workwear, whether it's t-shirts, whether it's running vests, whether
yeah,
it's mugs. I mean, mugs are great. Everyone, mugs and pens you can't go wrong with. As long as they
yeah.
work and they're great. brilliant. But there is so much more to it than that. I could talk to you forever, Marie. Like,
Yeah.
I think God help you, but we're on the same wavelength with assets and visibility. I love it.
I love the fact that the first thing you said when you introduced me was the asset of merchandise, because so many people think, oh, it's expensive, I can't afford it. First of all, it's not an expense, it's an investment, it's an asset. You make it work for you. Too many people go out there and buy the wrong thing, so it doesn't get their message out there. They don't get seen in the right way. So yes, of course, when it comes to it, oh, I can't afford that. So make it work for you. Make it the thing that works for you, your audience, your community, your charity. And then it's not an expense anymore. Now it's working for you. You make your merchandise work for you. And it stops being something that you kind of have a sort of, oh God, have to thing. You want to, because now it's attractive and it's getting you seen and it's making you some money perhaps as well,
And when
maybe.
people start saying to you, "Oh, I saw somebody with your
Yeah.
T-shirt on," or, "Oh, I
Yeah.
did your event and actually it was freezing cold, but thank you for the branded hat that you've
Yes.
still got 6 years on, that you're still wearing every day to work," or whatever. It's
Always.
perfect.
Yes.
Absolutely perfect. We've gone on for over 30 minutes now. So I'm gonna ask you, what are your plans for the future? What what does that involve? What kind of charity stuff have you got going on at the minute? Is there more stuff to come, or is it more of the same? And then I'm going to ask you to end with a top tip for charities. So it could be absolutely anything.
Okay. I will try not to take up another 10 minutes then. I will try to
Let's
keep
do
this
it. Right.
succinct. What are our plans for the future? Ideally, if I'm being completely honest, I want us to be, when charities think about their event and that they're organising that fundraising, I want us to be the next thing they think about. They might think about merch at the moment, and then it's like it becomes a headache, and I want that to be a thing of the past. It's like, right, okay, so we've booked the DJ, have you got the shop set up yet? Okay, cool. I want that to be the next thing they think of. It's just a given, because it's so easy to do and we know we're going to make some money from it. I want it to be the go-to thing that happens, because that becomes an awareness that we have to build about the opportunities that are out there. So as far as plans for the future are concerned, it's continuing to create the resources that charities can use. We need to make it easy, because these guys are already busy doing a million and one other things. So easy access, easy information, teaching them the benefits of print on demand, and giving them, I mean, we've actually got at the minute like a really simple to set up store as well. So you can have that done in an hour. It's just making it, no brainer. Take all the obstacles out of the way and get it done, and then it gets it out there and it gets it working for them. So just
And what,
continue to do more
just
of that.
from you saying that quickly, you saying, right, they can have a store set up in an hour, very quick. What, give me ballpark figure, rough cost. How much does it take to set that up?
Oh, we specifically set up, we call it the fundraiser focus. So it's got 12 products in it. So we've decided the products, the most popular products. We've set the price for them as well. So we'll tell you exactly how much you're going to earn on each product. And we'll set that all up for you for £49. So you can have a
So
shop.
for £49, they can have a shop set up in pretty much an hour
Yeah.
with their logos on 12 items.
Yeah.
And every time someone buys that item, they're getting a kickback.
Yeah, no, I just need artwork. I just need a logo. We'll go away. We'll create the 12 products. Now we've done it so it's quick, but they can still change the products, add more money onto it, because it's the selling price is still the charity's decision to make. We've just set it up so it's ready to go. If they want to add more onto it, they can still do that, and it's all completely accessible at the
That's
back end to them.
amazing, because and again, this is where charities need to go and look at those businesses and say, right, who do we know that's a tech company that wants to back something within a charity that's a bit, a bit techie, or a bit this, or, that's going to help build our visibility? Go and find someone that's got 49 quid in their budget. Tell them you need a shop and go and speak to Marie. Is pretty
Yeah,
much it, isn't it?
yeah. Don't even have to be techie. Just who's got the
No,
artwork.
I just
That's
so I
it.
was saying IT because somebody came to me once and said, "Look, we've got an IT department that wants to raise money. They're not
Yeah.
quite sure how that sits with this." And I said, "Well, they could fund
Oh,
a new
yes.
visibility package, a new, you think what it is, isn't it? Like if you go into a construction company, you'd think, right, help us to construct our
Yes, of course.
merchandise shop,
Absolutely.
whatever
Yeah.
it is. It is
Yes.
just that
It
way of
is that
thinking
simple. Yeah.
alternatively.
Yeah.
There you go. Everyone's going to go out running and looking for construction companies now to harass them. Sorry to those. And your top tip, Marie?
I guess my top tip, kind of alluded it to it before, but just because it's always been done a certain way doesn't mean it has to carry on being like that. Please explore options. And I know that might mean somebody has to take a little bit of time. Take a step back. Is it really serving the purpose, or are you just carrying on doing the thing just because for the last 5 years that's the way it's always been done, and you use the same people, and actually your community numbers are dying? So you might just need to do a little bit something. It's now not about getting the money, thinking about what you're going to offer to everybody out there that's going to make it work for them, work with you, that they're going to want to buy or spend their money on or give to you to help sponsor them. It's now just take a step back, think about what it is you actually want to say and who you're trying to bring into your community, I guess.
Amazing. We
Well,
got to
people want to feel good, so let them. That's what I would say.
yes, it feels good to do good.
Yes.
Everybody wants that, that positive feeling, don't they? That energy, whether it's giving up their time, giving up their money, finding a way of supporting it. Marie, where can people find you?
Okay, if you want to have an explore of the shop, get that set up, you can go to mcsbranding.theshopstore.co.uk, and that gives you all the information you need. You can do it for free. It's completely free if you do it yourself, and it will always be free. You'll have your own e-commerce website, create the products. You never have to spend a single penny. It will also give you information about how you can buy that quick fundraiser store as well. You can have a discovery call with me. I can give you a link to book that if you've got any questions you want to ask, or just drop me a message. I'm always happy to answer any questions. Is it for me? How do I make it work? What can I have? All those kind of questions. Happy to answer. No problem at all.
Brilliant. So that website one more time.
mcsbranding.theshopstore.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think it's time for a brew.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you so much.